Okay, welcome to a discussion on future value, present value, and calculating the value of a payment stream. My name is Matt Rousu, Professor of Economics at Susquehanna University. This short series of videos will help guide you through some of the basics of computing future value, present value, and also the present value of a stream of payments that you're expecting to receive in the future. So how do we calculate the future value of money? So we're going to make a couple assumptions here, right? That we're saying you have $100. This amount could be anything, but 100 is a nice, easy number to work with. You invest it. A couple things we need to know outside of the fact that we're investing the $100. We need to know what the interest rate is. We're going to assume a 4% interest rate right now. And we need to know how many years in the future we have. Doing that, we can figure out the future value of money. So we're going to go through the first few years here, just kind of manually, before we start to see the general formula for how to do this. In 1 year from now, right, after 1 year, future value at a 4% interest rate, it's the initial, you'll have that initial $100 plus the interest you earned on the $100, which is $100 times 0.04, or $104. Well, in 2 years' time, remember the first year you earned the 4% interest, so you have 104. So you're starting year two with $104, and then you'd earn the 4% interest not on $100, but on $104. So we will expect at the end of year two, we should have more interest received than just $4, right? We received $4 worth of interest in year one, but now our 4% interest rate is applied to $104. So we should expect a little bit more than $4 interest in year two, and indeed we do. We start year two with 104. Our 4% interest rate on the $104 means at the end of year two we have 108.16. What about in year three? Well, in year three we start with 108.16. Adding on the 4% interest rate times that, at the end of 3 years, we'd have $112.49. So we initially wrote $100 plus $100 plus times 0.04, the interest rate. Well, we'll rewrite this to $100 times 1 plus 0.04. So that's good after year one. Well, in year two, we start off at 104 dollars plus 104 times 0.04. Well, what can we do with this? Well, we know that at the end of year one, we have this amount, $100 times 1.1 plus 0.04. Well, that full amount is multiplied by 1 plus 0.04 again, which means we just have the $100 times 1 plus 0.04 times 1 plus 0.04 again, or simplifying, $100 times 1 plus 0.04 squared. Right, at the end of 2 years, this is an alternative way we could write out how much money we would have at the end of 2 years, give us the exact same answer. At the end of 3 years, remember this is at the end of 2 years, we just multiply this amount by 1 plus 0.04 again, which means at the end of 3 years, our $100 would be multiplied by 1 plus 0.04 cubed to give us the future value. Now, I put in, originally we did not have the superscript 1n, as you'll notice, but 1 plus 0.04 to the first power is the same as 1 plus 0.04. And you can start to see a trend here now. So the future value of money, it's whatever the current amount you're investing is. Right? We assumed $100 here for simplicity. You multiply that times 1 plus the interest rate, and take that to the power of whatever year you want to look into the future for. So if you want to look 1 year into the future, it's just times the first power. If you want to look 2 years into the future, squared, 3 years cubed. You want to look 49 years in the future, it's to the 49th power. If you want to look right now, this same formula actually holds. Like, how much is $100 worth right now? Well, it's $100 times 1 plus 0.04 to the 0th power, right? Anything to the power 0 just equals 1. So this formula even holds for this exact moment. And this is our general formula. So this is an important formula for you to know to calculate the future value of money. Let's go to Microsoft Excel and plug this in, try out just a couple different numbers here. It's the nice thing about this formula is it's very easy then to generalize. It's very easy to just plug in different interest rates, different periods of time. Okay, we have Microsoft Excel up now. So our formula, we're going to write out, let's see here, we'll say starting amount, and we'll start with $100. Interest rate, well, we have 4%, that's what we said, and time, years in future. And we've done several different ones, but why don't we try, we'll go with 3. Well, our general formula, right, our future value equals the starting amount multiplied by 1 plus the interest rate, and then we take that to the power of the number of years in the future. So here we'll have to go to the third power, but we don't write in 3, we will just write in, we'll just indicate that it should, we'll point to cell 3C. And we find 112.49. So 112.49, so $112.49, that's how much we would have at the end of 3 years. That's exactly what we found in the initial calculation. So this formula seems to hold, and the great thing about this formula and doing it in Excel, you can change things, right? So let's say it was $22,000, and you want to figure out, okay, I have $22,000 saved, I'm expecting an interest rate of 4%. 3 years in the future, how much will I have? Well, 24,747 and a penny, right, if we're rounding to 2 cents. Why don't we do that? Why don't we convert this into money? There we go. Or let's move this back to 100 and say, well, forget about 3 years, saving for 30 years. Well, that $100 turns into $324.34. You can change the interest rate. Often people use like a 10% interest rate or a 12% interest rate to show, you invest in the stock market over the long term, what will happen. When I go to a 9% interest rate, that's a great yield if you could get 9% year in and year out. $100, 30 years from now at a 9% interest rate, look at that, $1,327. So using this formula, you can calculate the future value. In the next videos, we will look at how you calculate the present value of some amount of money that you'd receive in the future. So that'll be the next video. Hope to see you there.